Hello everyone, welcome to Trax Gaming. My name is Trax and I'm going to show you something that is on my mind for a very long time. I'm going to show you the performance of World of Warcraft on various settings on the 13-inch MacBook Air. Now before we start, I'm going to give you some system information for people who are not familiar with Apple products. So the 13-inch MacBook Air has a 1.4 GHz Intel Core i5 processor with 4 GB of RAM speed. It comes with an onboard video card of 1536 MB and a rather small hard drive of 125 GB. Now when you first install World of Warcraft, the Battle.net launcher displays a message that the system I'm using doesn't meet the minimum requirements to play the game. Now that being said, I will let you be the judge of that after the video. I'm going to start with the lowest video settings going up to the highest. The only thing I don't change throughout the video are the audio settings. Those are maxed out with the headphone mode on for surround sound and reverb on for the ambient feel throughout the gameplay. Now, as I said, I'm starting on the lowest settings called poor, but I'm going to cycle to the fair settings because there's really nothing going on. You immediately see some difference in the details and the drawing distance. Frames per second is really good, so there's not really any problem running WoW at the moment. So I'm cycling up to the good settings, still more than enough frames per second, and again more details and drawing distance, so moving on to the high settings. Still a good amount of frames per second. Sometimes it drops depending on the environment. So moving on to what most people are waiting for, the ultra settings. You can see SSAO disabled for itself, so no advanced lightning effects. Now you can see our first hiccups. Frame rate has really dropped now, but when you lower the shadow settings to low, we're again running at 20 frames per second and even higher depending on where you are. Well, but this is just some environmental stuff. You probably want to see how it works in combat, don't you? So I went up to LFR, went up to Manno, made a video. And made a video out of it. Well, I'm used to tanking, but I don't want to fuck up online for YouTube. So I went for Fury, gave me a chance to cycle to the graphics and the frame rate, because I don't have my full attention on the combat. Now for the video I'm still on ultra settings, only the shadow is brought down to low. But the entire graphical system is going to change in Legion. So we now have poor, fair, good, high and ultra. And it's going to change to a ratio from 0 to 10. And the current ultra setting is going to be a 7 in the new system, so the engine is really upgraded. So as soon as Legion drops, I'm going to see what it gives for the MacBook Air 13-inch, and I will let you know. So you can enjoy watching me in combat, or you can cycle to the end of the video where I made a roundup of the MacBook Air, some positive and some negative things I wanted to point out. And then you can really decide if the MacBook Air 13-inch is capable of running WoW, despite what the launcher said. So I would like to welcome you all to the roundup. Hope you enjoy the video so far. So I'm starting on negative because I feel we can end on a good note here. Screen size. Yes, the screen is rather small being 13 inch. Being used to having a 27 inch monitor myself, it takes some time to get used to. Hard drive. Being only 125 gigabytes and having the game itself installed for almost 33 gigabytes, yeah, it's rather small. Luckily, you can bring in some flash storage if you want to. Wi-Fi only. There's no cable connection, so you would need a good Wi-Fi connection, but so far even running multiple systems on my Wi-Fi, I haven't found a problem yet. Fan noise. When you get to the high video settings, the fan is starting to rev up and it increases when you go to the ultra settings. But so far, even running the game for 5 hours on end isn't really a problem, not even with the heat. PC versus Mac. If you're being used to work with Windows, it's definitely something to get used to in the beginning, but it's not something you can't overcome, right? Okay, and now coming up to our positive points. Stable system. Everyone knows that Apple products is the #1 choice when it comes to editing, so even for gaming it's nice to have a stable system to work on. Design. Now, everyone has its own style when it comes to design, but I find the Apple products a nice combination of tech and design worked out together. Keyboard feel. Well, the keyboard feels real comfortable to play on in my opinion. This is something I didn't expect in the beginning, being such a flat surface. Remote connections. Now it's easy to connect the laptop to a variation of systems. Hook it up to a monitor, TV or beamer without any problems. The only downside is that the Apple cables would cost you a few extra bucks, pounds or euros. Mobile gaming. Well, if you have a good Wi-Fi connection, it really is a good way to be more mobile. It doesn't take up much space, and with the good performance and good screen, it's nice to try a different location if you want to. Well, that's it for my video. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope I gave you a good view into the comparison of the MacBook Air versus World of Warcraft. If you liked the video, you can give a thumbs up and you can subscribe for more videos coming up.